Hey, Stacy.
Hey.
So I found this camera right here.
Oh yeah,
So
that's nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool because you know it'll let us do the live stream.
Huh? Oh no. Okay, Mama's gonna look for your tablet. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But Mama's talking to Daddy right now. Okay. So yeah, this will let us do live stream so we can interact with the crew and stuff like that. So
cool.
it's gonna be live, baby. You know what I'm talking about? So it's cool because it lets us set up payment plans, and
Oh
then.
no, it's okay. Don't be sad. Oh, you got cookies on your face.
I need white.
You need
And
a
it-
white.
Yeah, it's cool
Let's
because
go
it'll
find you a
let
white.
us do live stream and
I'm sorry. You were saying something. What were you saying?
yeah, no, it's cool. So I was saying, you know, this will let us do live stream so we can interact with the crew, and I think it'll really help. The crew will love it because we don't have to just ask them questions. We could really just ask them questions. So
Hey, baby. What you want? What you doing? Yeah.
I think this will be dope
What you
because,
need?
you know, I can use it for the business too.
Skylar. Come here. Come give
And-
Mommy a hug. What you doing? Oh no. Why you sad?
I can't find my purse.
Oh no. That's not it on the
It's-
floor over there?
I really like it, and
Okay, go
you
look
know,
in
it's
your
relatively cheap. You know.
I just looked in my room and it wasn't.
But maybe I started off on the wrong foot. How are you? How are you doing?
It wasn't there.
My day was cool.
Oh no, Eris.
It looked like you're kind of busy.
And all I found is this
I'll be busy
Okay,
sometimes
I'll
too.
come help you find it, okay?
Go in.
Okay.
You want me to come help you find it? Okay, let's go find it.
I was,
Come on.
but I was still talking. Still talking. You know, there's a saying, whenever the airplane is going down, put your mask on yourself, and then you put it on the kids, so that way you can help the kids. Our marriage is the mask right now, Stacy. Put on the mask.
Hey crew, welcome back to our channel. My name is Stacy.
And my name is DJ. This is After The Vows, where we have real deal conversations about marriage. If you like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button below.
Oh, and it's about to get real. I think this is the first video we probably don't 100% agree on.
Yeah. Tell them what we're talking about.
Okay, so we're talking about who comes first in the marriage, the kid or the spouse.
Let me tell you, it is not me.
That's not true.
So last night we was getting ready to go to sleep, and we're trying to get them to sleep in their own room, and they come up with every excuse in the world to come sleep with us. And at some point they asked both of us if they can come sleep with us, and I was like, no. Let me tell you, the kids did not even make eye contact with me when I said it. They looked straight at Stacy and asked the same question again. Mama, can we stay in here? So disrespectful.
Whoever is on their side, in air quotes, that's who they're gonna go to.
Which is most of the time you.
I feel like I'm more understanding. They said they heard a noise and they were scared. Be honest and say for the past, 2 weeks, if not longer, when they've come in the room like, oh, I'm itchy. Oh, like he said, they come up with every excuse. And you say, go back to the room. I said, yeah. I mean, your daddy's gonna come check it out, or I'm gonna come check it out, mainly your daddy. And then, so y'all feel safe. And then go back in the bed, and go to sleep. True or false?
1 week. I give you 1 week.
True or false? No.
Then,
the answer is like true or false. It's not any ad libs or anything else. No, that's true. What? That's the truth.
It's been a week tops.
That's not even the whole thing when it comes to who comes first, your children or your spouse. It's deeper than, do I make them sleep in their room when they get scared of something? And you say no and I say yes. But anyways, according to that, he ended up sleeping on the couch, which I didn't think was right. I woke up in the middle of the night and I didn't see you there. I was like, he's in the restroom or he sleep on the couch because he's mad about something. And I usually get up and come look for him. And if he's on the couch, I say, hey, come get back in the bed. I'm the type of wife, I don't want you sleeping on the couch. I don't care if we're getting along or not. But last night I didn't come looking for him because honestly, you had to understand how I felt. When they came in the room, I already wasn't feeling good and I was asleep. I had finally went to sleep because I knew he was up. So when they kept asking, I'm like, just forget it. Just make a pallet on the floor and go to sleep. He didn't sleep in the bed. Y'all tell me if this is petty or not. The same amount of people was in the bed, so it didn't affect his sleeping. When I woke him up this morning and asked him why he slept on the couch, you said it was because you didn't want to sleep in the room with the kids, not in the bed with the kids, because the kids are not in the bed. They made a pallet on the floor. That's petty.
So y'all leave a comment below, let us know who was right or who was wrong, or maybe we're both right and it's just different perspectives. But I just feel like we've been so long with all the kids sleeping in the room and she's always complaining about not having her space. Like, I feel like at a lot of times I'm the booty of the bread. Like,
that's still a good piece. What do you mean?
Nobody eats the booty of the bread.
I do.
Nobody wants the booty of the bread, but we leave it there to protect the rest of the loaf. We keep it from spoiling. And I feel like a lot of times that's my role as a father here. It's just like when I want something that I know Dad, is going to say yes to, that's fine. But outside of that, like, he's obsolete. I'm not even asking him nothing. Like, I'm going straight to Mom.
That's with children all around, and it's not just with the dad, it's whoever they feel is going to side with them.
And there's a resolution for that. We'll get to that right now. So I want to talk a little bit about this blog, Marriage 365. I like a quote that they put on there. It says, you only have your kids for 18 years, but about the rest of your life with your spouse. I think with a lot of our issues, we'll say that you should talk about these things before you get married. But I honestly think that was a conversation we did have before we got married. Like, who comes first, either each other or the kids? And we both said each other. And it was funny, before we had kids, the pastor that married us, we had that conversation. He was like, nah, the kids come first. I was like, what? Doesn't he even say in the Bible that? And he was like, nah, once you have kids, you'll see the kids come first.
Right. Until the father can carry the children in their womb and be one with that child, I don't think you understand. And I didn't understand either. Like you said, we had that conversation before we got married, meaning before we had children, before I carried any of these children in our womb, before I gave them 100% of myself. When they're sick, who do they come to? So you complaining that you don't get, I guess you would say, respect when it comes to asking you a question about can they sleep in the room. But when they're sick, who do they come ask that question to? Who do they come cry to? Who do they lean on to heal them? All of that is me. They don't come to you for that. So all of those stresses fall on my shoulder. Yeah, that falls on your shoulder financially if you're buying medicine or, whatever else it is. But that's me that nursed them up back to health. That's me who stayed up breastfeeding the child. That's me who barely gets any sleep. It's because so much falls on my shoulder when it comes to those children. I mean, dads, if you're watching, you can chime in and tell me I'm wrong. And yes, I need to do better as a wife. When it comes to like making plates, and some people, I see it in the argument and I feel like it's so petty. Do you make the child's plate first or the husband? And then a lot of women will say, hey, the husband can get up and make his own plate, but the child can't, depending on how old the child is. And I think the dynamic of our marriage will change as the kids grow up and get older. I feel like you will come first with a lot of things, but now I feel like they need me a lot more than you do. Just like when it comes to the business, you feel like their business is your baby and it needs you a lot more than I do because you spend a lot of time in that office. So if we're saying who comes first, the children or the spouse, well, who comes first, the wife or the business? The business is your baby. It needs you. So I have to do nothing but understand. And not all the time do I do that correctly, but I have to understand that you in that office to provide and to build that business, correct or no?
I think it's a matter of perspective. So if you have a bunch of bags that you need to carry, and then I'm like, well, let me help you with that bag. You're like, no, I want to carry this one because it's got my laptop in it and all my special, let me carry this one. Like, okay, let me get that bag. You're like, nah, this one got my makeup, and if you bump it, it'll break or whatever. Mm-hmm. So if you carry on a whole bunch of bags that you're willingly carrying, and I'm telling you, okay, with that bag, you maybe don't need to carry, or that one I can carry, but you're like, nah, let me take it. You're still taking on that burden yourself. So I realize that there's a lot of it that you do carry, but a lot of it you don't have to carry, or I can help carry, but you won't let me do it because I'm not going to carry it the same way you do. So when it comes to like the kids being sick and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of times, like my kids are spoiled. Like a lot of people might parent this way, but I think, let me tell you what type of parent Stacey is. When somebody has a birthday, all the kids get a gift. Our kids are very immature in some ways. Like they're very smart, don't get me wrong, like they're very intelligent children. But in certain ways, when it comes to navigating everyday life, they're a little bit immature. And it's like, I'm trying to get them to grow up by getting them to do things themselves or self-assess things. So if they have a headache or something like that, yes, I'll give them some medicine. But our kids are like fall on the ground, like saying they're itchy. It's like, okay, well, go get in the bath, and they'll just sit there and cry about it. We have two different ways of handling that. Like me, it's just like, okay, figure it out, you know. And with her, it's like, no, I'll do it. You know, I'll help you out. And I don't think either way is wrong.
Mothers are nurturers by nature.
Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily you carrying most of the weight. I think we just parent different ways.
If you're sleeping and they don't feel good, they're not going to wake you. If I'm sleeping and they don't feel good, they're going to wake me up. As a matter of fact, I probably didn't even go to sleep if they're running a fever or something else is going wrong with them. A lot of times you're just not bothered. They don't bother you. Not to say that, you know, our kids are bothered, but they don't wake you for those things. You sleep through the night. So of course, a lot of things they're going to depend on me for before they depend on you for it. So that's not something that I asked to carry. I'm a mother. Mm-hmm. It's by nature for me to carry. Even if you say I'll take that, it's not going to be given to you. They're not going to accept it from you.
They can. That depends on the way you respond. So one of the things that they give us 3 tips as far as when it comes to raising the children and still having a relationship, you know, making sure you're dating each other and stuff. And obviously, number 1, it says have regular date nights away from your kids.
I think that's pretty important.
But number 2 is the one that I really wanted to talk about. So there might be a lot of times where they might come to you or ask you a question, but we still have to be on one accord. And number 2, it says make parenting decisions together whenever possible. And I feel like that has been really the problem. So it's not necessarily that they come to her about certain things, but it's just like, let's say if they happen to come to me and I say no, the fact that they have that option, or they feel like they have that option to go to her and ask the same question, like they'll do it right in front of me because they know that she will undermine me right in front of me. So it's like, it's not even...
That's
they
not
did
true.
that last night.
But that's what I've been saying from the very beginning when we first started this video, is that whoever agrees with them or agrees more with them, that's who they're going to go to. I could tell them no about things and they'll still come ask you, or they'll say, but Daddy said. That's what children do.
You can't name a time when they did that right there in front of me.
I probably can't think of a time.
That's what I'm saying. Like the boldness that's there when it comes to me is completely different.
That has nothing to do with me and my parenting.
It has everything to do with us not being on one accord. And that's the point that I make. I get that certain things, like every kid is like that. They have like certain parents or one of the 2 parents that they're more likely to ask certain things because they're more likely to say yes. But the kids should still feel like we're on one accord, and they don't.
Exactly. Basically what we're getting to is whose fault do you feel like that is? Because a lot of times I do agree with what you say.
And I would say it's yours because a lot of times you don't, and you'll do it right in front of me. I never do that. Like I've never once said, I can say they can do something, and if you turn around and say no, they're like, okay, well, Mom said no. Like that's the end of that. But with you, it's a debate. If I say, well, we can do something, you say no, like we'll have to go back and forth right in front of them because you're undermining me.
Because why did you say anything? What do you mean? You said I say stuff in front of the kids. That means you said something to me instead of pulling me aside like, well, I just told them no.
Well, I do think that's important to, and that gets to point number 3. So the third point was when you argue in front of the children, make up in front of the children. And shouts out to Garen and Moniz. They actually said this, and I forgot what video they did it in, but he talked about the importance of making up in front of your children. So I know I've heard a lot, and I'm sure you guys have heard a lot, that you shouldn't argue in front of your children. I feel like that happens. But I think the most important thing is to see your conflict resolution. And a lot of times that's what we both fail at, because even when we do apologize to each other, we do it at night while the kids are asleep, and it's just us. Like, they don't really see us reconcile the situation.
That's definitely true. Going back to you sleeping on the couch, though. I feel like sometimes you go from 0 to 100 as far as when you sleep on the couch, because just yesterday, you told me that I was doing something that I didn't even know I was doing, and it was just coming naturally. And that's as far as you being distant, or like your mind was somewhere else, which naturally with all that's going on, that could happen. And I know a lot of times myself, it's just a lot on our plates right now. You commended me for being supportive. And then so to go from that to sleeping on the couch because they were scared and I let them sleep in the room, make a pallet on the floor, I feel like that was a bit much and a bit petty.
So I think it's important to know that men have emotions too. And I think a lot of us, instead of showing emotion, we withdraw emotion. How I felt in that moment after you basically just like the kids looked at me like I was nothing. My emotion in that moment is like, man, like, I felt alone, honestly. Like, a lot of times when it comes to, especially when you have sleep or you're already tired and you just kind of at the end of your wick, you just like, you give in, especially when it comes to them.
I think a lot of parents do.
Yeah, but I was still willing to hold up and you know, put them to sleep.
Then
but you just kind of cut me off when you did that. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to sleep on the couch, because it's like, I feel like we're trying so hard to get them on some type of schedule. I know it was like 2 o'clock in the morning at that time that happened, but you know, still when we try to, when there's time to, okay, shut it down, let's go to sleep, I'll still go in there and sit with them while they go to sleep.
Well, last night you got in the bed, got back under the cover and told them to go get in the bed. And they kept saying, but my mom's scared, but my mom's scared. So I was like, well, whatever noise you heard, your daddy went and checked, he looked under the bed, and that's when you reassured me, yeah, I looked under the bed. And I was like, well, okay, y'all can go in there and go to sleep. And they kept saying, but mama, we're scared. So I finally told them, because Eris was asleep already, I said, just bring your mattress and come sleep on the floor. At that point, they weren't even addressing you. So I made the decision for them to just go ahead and go to sleep so we all could get some sleep.
Yeah, I was just sitting there because they was asking you that after I already told them no.
Right.
And they just asked you the same exact question they just asked me.
At that point, if I were you and you planned on going to sit in there until they fell asleep, then I would have just said, hey, daddy will come in here and sit with y'all till y'all fall asleep. You wouldn't have even had a chance to answer and say, just go ahead and sleep in here.
I could have handled that differently.
My point was that I didn't feel good. So I just wanted them, okay, at this point, let me just hurry up and fix this so I can go to sleep. And they can feel safe and I can go back to sleep. It wasn't to disrespect you or make you feel some type of way. At that point, you knew before I went to sleep that I didn't feel good. And I was worried about Eris, worried that she didn't feel good. It had already been a long day for me. When I first woke up at 8 o'clock that morning, Eris woke up throwing up. And then I took her to pediatricians. And it was just like one thing after another. And you knew that I was feeling like a lot of anxiety. So if you do deal with anxiety, you know when you finally go to sleep, anything that wakes you up, you still feel that anxious feeling. So it was a lot for me. So you didn't step up and say anything like you would comfort them until they went to sleep. Then I would have felt better about that. The days that you said that, okay, I'm gonna go sit in there with them if they're scared, those days I went to sleep with Eris. It was not that I don't think you can do your job as a father, because I do. We may not always get along as husband and wife, but I say you are a dang good dad, and I never took that from you. And, I mean, it's been times in our marriage where both of us have been petty, and we shouldn't have been, because it wasn't a good example to our kids, and we've been working on that. So for you to do what you did last night, I don't even feel like it set us back, because if it did, a lot of days I wouldn't sit and do these videos, and neither would he. If we're in a bad space, we're not going to sit in front of a camera and pretend. That's what both of us say.
For those of y'all that watched our vlog, that's why we stopped for a long time. Our energy, we can't fake that.
So now I think we've matured to a point where we can both sit down, and these videos not only help people that's watching, but they help us talk through whatever is going on.
So I guess to follow point number 3, I guess we should have a conversation with the kids. My thing is, like, however much work it takes, I want them in their room, so After I get them in their room, then the next goal will definitely be Eris, and we'll be free.
And what I want to say is, I apologize if I made you feel of less importance in this marriage, because that's not what I meant to do. That's not my goal. Our goal, especially in this season, is to grow together. And anything standing in the way, like a misunderstanding, I wouldn't want that to set us back.
I appreciate that. But all is forgiven because I ate your cookie. A real cookie. A real cookie. It was a real cookie.
Oh, it was. It was a real chocolate chip cookie. And I didn't appreciate you eating it. But he's going to make some more.
I'm going to make some more. But
they're going to think this is a Jody and Yvette type situation, and it's not. Okay, baby boy.
Y'all know we keep it real here, and if y'all like content like this, make sure you hit that like button and share this video, you guys, because there's a lot of parents out there that are struggling. I actually I tried to research the divorce rate after children grow up and leave the house. I thought that would just be like significant, because if you think about, like, a lot of people stay together for the kids, right, and then after the kids grow up, they just get divorced. But I couldn't find any information on that, and I started to think about that. It's probably because the relationships that stay together for the kids don't make it that long.
Right.
Like 18 years, that's a long time to stay together with somebody that you don't like or barely love, just for the children. So if you're in that space in your relationship right now, subscribe to this channel. Let's have a conversation about it. But we got to get out of this space of staying together for the kids. It don't work. It doesn't work.
At all. You'll be miserable. We know because we've been there. Go back and watch that This Is Us marriage series. You'll see it pop up. That's when we were in that space, staying together for the kids. And by God's grace, we were able to work through it. And that's how we having the communication that we're having right now. This has been After the Vows.
My name is DJ.
And my name is Stacy. Peace. Yeah. Still don't like your ugly. No, I'm just kidding. This is my baby right here. This is my baby. This was my first baby. Didn't carry him in my womb, but this is my first baby.
Y'all have witnessed a real transformation. We was not getting along last night. We wasn't getting along at the beginning of this video.
It wasn't. Y'all see I was sitting to the side like, I know one of our good friends was watching like, yes, they came through that. You know that Beyonce song, My Friends Know All My Business? We only have one couple that literally know pretty much all of our business, and that's because they're a praying couple. They don't get in the middle of it. Get you some friends. We're going to talk about that on the next video. Get you some friends that'll pray you through some things and speak life into you and your marriage. If they not friends like that, get rid of them.
Hey, man.
Or you be that friend to them.
Yeah.
You pray them through until they make it to the stage and knowing God to where they can pray for you. But you got to discern which friends to do that for. But I'm not going to talk too much about
Pastor Stacy in the house. I ain't going to take up too much more of your time.
Too much fun. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss an upload. For real. Bye.